Hello peeps, I don't know how long my battery is going to last, but I'm sending you some short greetings from Hafnarfjörður, like the sea fjord that is a small town nearby Reykjavik and still part of the capital area, but a little bit more quiet with more old houses and with these elf stones, like they also call it the city of the elves, and there are a lot of accounts of people not being able to build a road at certain points of the city because the elves sort of sabotaged the building measures. And like, you can believe it or not, but some people had also like dreams asking where the elves asked to, or the hidden people, Huldufolk, asked to not destroy their homes. And personally, I think this is a good point to go from when you think of environmental protection, because let's say many sites that like some folk belief asks to not destroy actually have a big impact on the environment, as it's also said in my favorite book, The Songlines by Bruce Chatwin, that's about Australian Aboriginals. But still, I think almost every people in the world has some kind of legend of nature spirit, some place that they cannot destroy. And yeah, by the way, here I like this type of flower really much because it's called Sóley in Icelandic. That's also like a permitted female first name. And I like the dandelions as well. They're called Hagafífill. That's maybe not as much of a name for a person and maybe also difficult to memorize, but this is one of my favorite words of the Icelandic language. Hagafífill. But I wouldn't even call my dog that. Hagafífill, come here. That wouldn't work, kind of. So, let's say I don't feel anything super magic about this stone personally, but I feel peace and I feel closer to earth. And here is also like a small path where I don't know where it leads. I didn't order the garbage can to be here, but actually this is better than throwing the garbage in the landscape. I just discussed with my friend that it's a huge problem with people who travel by an organized travel bus and then they need to go to the bathroom in the middle of a landscape, and there is no bathroom. And actually the people who own the gas stations and restaurants also don't want dozens of people to go to the loo at their place just so, because they have to maintain it and they have to clean it. So yeah, it's a tricky topic. I always advise people who come to Iceland, especially with a disability like me, do your homework, find out where you can go to the loo beforehand. Today there is so much like internet information about like virtually every place that you go. Right here, this is a birch. This, like, guess what birch is in Icelandic? Björk. So yes, the singer has a very earthbound name. So yeah, we are theoretically open for tourism. Practically, it's a little bit more tricky because also here we are not totally done with COVID. So I'm throwing this wish into the universe for people to think, is this and that travel really necessary? On the other hand, my good friend told me, like, if I'm going to wait with my next travel until COVID is done, then I will still wait for a long time, because no one knows when or if this will ever disappear again. So let's say I just kind of have to expect the unexpected, but I plead to people to really, as dumb as it sounds to some, wash their hands frequently, avoid the big crowds. I actually love being here in Hafnarfjörður with the sole flowers because there are no other people. Like in the old settler town there were plenty of other people, but not as plenty as there would be in Reykjavik on a day with decent sunlight. My friend and I went to a restaurant that was not full, and we had like one meal with 2 plates. I have made the experience that is quite all right. Like nobody complains when you order one meal with 2 plates, and because the servings are relatively big here, and I've always got to know Iceland as a country where plenty of food is thrown away, it's really good to start with one dish with 2 plates. And yeah, just whatever I do, I try to do very consciously. Do I need that now? What do I basically gain from it? Yes, I gained something from going to a restaurant with a good friend after a long stretch without such things. But I would not go to a party / disco / mass event right now. Even though like the authorities have not released anything about forbidding them yet. I don't know what happens to all of these summer festivals like this. I think it's called Fisherman's Day in Dalvik, and the LGBTQ celebration. And I think we will just have to be inventive when it happens. And Brekkusöngurinn, like brekka is a sort of a landscape like this where there is something steep and the people are kind of sitting on this steep thing like on a shelf, and then they're singing basically folk songs. And this sounds a lot like fun. Like, I mean, I was invited to a Brekkusöngur even in a kind of flat part of another town last year, but I didn't go because I had like so many cramps in my feet that wouldn't have been pleasant. But yeah, you can also participate on a distance. I heard this Brekkusöng then all over town, and I really enjoyed it while I was resting. So I know I'm not like all other people, but let's say whatever is done with thought and with love may save nerves and lives. So I hope you all have a wonderful weekend and stay safe. Bye bye.